Once upon a time, in the depths of a cold, snowy winter, a queen sat sewing by her window. She pricked her finger, and 3 drops of blood fell onto the fresh white snow on the windowsill. The sight was so striking, the red on the white, that she whispered, "Oh, I wish I had a child with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as the ebony wood of this window frame." Her wish came true. Soon after, she gave birth to a baby girl who was just as she'd imagined. They named her Snow White. But joy was short-lived, as the good queen passed away. A year later, the king remarried. The new queen was stunningly beautiful, but her heart was cold, proud, and cruel. She could not bear the thought of anyone being more beautiful than her. She owned a magic mirror, and every day she would ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" The mirror always replied, "You, my queen, are the fairest of all," and this pleased her greatly. But as Snow White grew, so did her beauty. By the time she was 7, she was already more lovely than the queen. One morning, the queen asked her mirror the usual question, but this time, the answer was different. "You are fair, O queen, it's true, but Snow White is 1,000 times fairer than you." The queen was consumed by fury. Jealousy twisted into a deep, burning hatred. She could no longer stand the sight of Snow White. Her envy grew until she summoned a huntsman. "Take Snow White deep into the forest," she commanded. "Kill her, and bring me her heart as proof." The huntsman led the innocent girl into the woods, but when he raised his knife, Snow White began to weep. "Please, dear huntsman, don't hurt me. Let me go, and I promise I'll run away and never return." Her tear-streaked face moved him. He couldn't bring himself to harm such a beautiful, kind child. "Run, child," he urged. "Escape and never come back." To deceive the queen, he killed a young boar and brought its heart back to the palace. The wicked queen, believing it was Snow White's, had it cooked and ate it with cruel satisfaction. Meanwhile, Snow White was alone and terrified in the vast, dark forest. Every shadow seemed to move, every rustle of leaves made her jump. She ran for hours, with no idea where she was going. Just as the sun began to set, she stumbled upon a tiny, curious cottage in a clearing. Inside, everything was small and neat. She saw a table set with 7 little plates and 7 little cups, and nearby, 7 little beds all in a row. Starving and exhausted, she ate a few crumbs from each plate and drank a tiny sip from each cup. Then, she tried out the beds, and the 7th one was just right. She lay down and fell fast asleep. Later that night, the owners of the cottage returned. They were 7 dwarfs who spent their days mining for gold in the mountains. "Look," one exclaimed. "Someone has been in our house." "Who's been sitting in my chair?" asked another. "Who's eaten from my plate?" They gathered around the 7th bed. "Someone's been sleeping in my bed, and she's still here." They marveled at the sleeping girl. "Oh, she is so beautiful," they whispered, taking care not to wake her. The next morning, Snow White awoke to the sight of 7 curious, friendly faces. She told them her entire story, about her wicked stepmother and the huntsman who spared her life. The dwarfs felt sorry for her. "If you will keep house for us," they offered, "cook, clean, and sew, you can stay here with us. We will protect you." Snow White happily agreed. For a while, she lived peacefully with the dwarfs. But every morning before they left for the mountains, they warned her, "Be careful. Your stepmother will soon discover you are alive. Don't let anyone in the house." Back at the palace, the queen, confident in her victory, approached her mirror. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" To her shock, the mirror replied, "You are fair, O queen, it's true, but Snow White, beyond the hills with the 7 dwarfs, is fairer still." The queen trembled with rage. Disguising herself as an old peddler, she journeyed to the dwarf's cottage. "Lovely laces for sale," she cried. Snow White, thinking the old woman was harmless, peeked out. The laces were so pretty. "Allow me, dearie," the disguised queen said, pulling the laces so tight around Snow White's waist that she couldn't breathe and collapsed. When the dwarfs returned, they quickly cut the laces, and Snow White revived. "That was your stepmother," they warned. "Promise us you won't open the door again." But the queen's mirror told her the truth once more. Enraged, she created a new disguise and a new weapon, a poison comb. Arriving at the cottage, she called out, "Pretty things for sale." Snow White refused to open the door, but the queen coaxed her to the window. "Just let me fix this lovely comb in your hair," she said. The moment the comb touched Snow White's head, the poison took effect, and she fell down as if lifeless. Again, the dwarfs returned just in time, found the comb, and pulled it out, saving her. "You must never, ever open the door again," they pleaded. Consumed by her failure, the queen crafted her most devious plan. She made a beautiful apple, polished and rosy red on one side, but deathly poisonous. Dressed as a farmer's wife, she knocked on the door. "Delicious apples," she offered. When Snow White refused, the queen said, "Are you afraid of poison? Look, I'll cut it in 2. You eat the red half, and I'll eat the white." Snow White, tempted by the juicy red half, took a bite and immediately fell to the ground. This time, when the dwarfs found her, nothing they did could wake her. She wasn't breathing. Believing she was truly gone, they wept for 3 days. They couldn't bear to bury her, so they built a beautiful glass coffin and placed her on the mountainside where they could always watch over her. Finally, the queen asked her mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" And at last, it answered, "You, my queen, are the fairest of all." One day, a prince was riding through the forest and saw the glass coffin. He was captivated by the beauty of the girl inside. He pleaded with the dwarfs, "Please, let me take her with me. I will cherish and honor her always." The dwarfs, moved by his sincerity, agreed. But as the prince's servants carried the coffin, one of them stumbled. The jolt dislodged the piece.